I feel like everyone knew this, and I've told you guys. The Washington Wizards is basically a Oklahoma City Thunder organization now. We took Will Dawkins and Michael Winger, who were guys. Will Dawkins straight from the Thunder. Michael Winger went from the Thunder to the Clippers and then to us. And a lot of our Brian Keefe, former Thunder guy, and supposedly when Will Dawkins and Winger took over the front office, were told they couldn't fire Tim Unseld Jr. So they replaced his lead head coach or assistant coach with Brian Keefe. And then when Wes Unseld was moved to an advisory role, Brian Keefe was immediately tapped as head coach or interim coach. And I always knew, and if you guys watch previous videos, that Brian Keefe was probably going to remain head coach, which I think is perfectly fine. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think, Brian Keefe? I think he's done an amendable job for what the season has been. It's not like it's an easy job. We're tanking, okay, but I think we've seen player growth, player development. Denny Avdia's looked great, in my opinion. I think several players have grown, and that's all we can ask for what we're finally rebuilding. Beggars can't be choosers. He's been 8-27, but honestly, Wes Unseld went 7-36. So one might say Brian Keefe has been better. Okay, but let's continue. Brian Keefe, the expectation we're hearing from Jake Fischer, link in the description. While the Washington Wizards will conduct a search for a new head coach this offseason, interim head coach Brian Keefe has been considered to be a strong candidate to be hired on a permanent basis. Jake Fischer reports. Keefe was elevated to interim head coach after the Wizards moved on from Wes Unseld into an advisory role. Keefe was a longtime assistant coach for Scott Brooks, and then he went to the Knicks, Lakers, Nets, Wizards starting in 2015, and he bounced around the league. He's a guy that people really like. And for me, when you look at a team like the Wizards, I think the Wizards are a team in the last 35 games he's been the coach, so it's been an interesting mix. And from what we're hearing is the Wizards are a team that they are focusing. First off, they're going to be, besides considering younger first-time head coaches, they are also going to consider a few, veteran coaches, but they are prioritizing finding the right developmental minded coach that enhance their youth movement. So they're not going to sit here and just want to get a big name for the sake of getting a big name. I think that's something that I think is important to understand. And I don't know, I want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you guys think? This is a team that the Wizards, their defensive rating over the last 35 games is 118. And if you look on the season, they are a defensive rating of 121 almost. So they're actually been better defensively compared to their whole season stretch under Mr. Brian Keefe. So he's done an amendable job. And then offensively, the last 35 games, they've been 108.9. In comparison, their offensive rating for the season is 111.7. So technically, maybe a little bit worse, but there's also been trading of players and all that. But I think it's a better situation than a lot of people would initially think. And yeah, I think there's a lot of room for growth. And I want to hear your guys' expectations with the upcoming season. But yeah, that's mainly my thoughts. And let me hear your opinions, as I know this is going to be an interesting stretch that we're going into with all the coaching news and with the NBA season, regular season ending, and we're going into the offseason very soon.